See if we got a lighting thing here. I always wonder if I'm able to do this. Fuck it, bro. What's going on? What's up, everybody? We are out here. Let's see. A little awkward 3 minutes before we get some people in here. Although the way the light's set up, I can't really see. Nobody shows up. Nobody shows up. I don't give a fuck. Dude, what's going on? YouTube. We are in the crib. We are officially in the crib. We're in the new place. I got mattress on the floor. Dude, I don't own shit. And I gotta say, I was dreading moving today. What's going on, bro? And it took like 45 minutes for me to like get my shit out of my storage thing into there. I got a U-Haul from like a fucking bodega, basically. I didn't know that that was a thing that existed, but it is. And you know, went with my son, my best friend, and got the shit packed in. And yeah, so now I'm making a list of all the shit I need to buy in the next week or so. Because there's so many things when you move into a place that you're just like, I don't own that. Like, oh yeah, I need a trash can. It's just like so much random shit that I need. I need a lot of lamps. This apartment is the definition of like, it's perfect for me, but it's definitely not perfect. Um, you know, there's like definitely, it's a fucking old ass place. And, you know, they gave it away for cheap because they didn't put tons of work into it. And that's okay. I don't care. I'm, you know, where I need to be, and it's still a good amount of space. That's what I really like. It's fucking nice and quiet. My neighbor is a cool motherfucker that I've known for a long time, an incredibly talented artist, and you know, it's like the neighborhood's super quiet. I got a park across the street. Fucking barely anybody lives over here on this side of town, and I'm like literal 2 minutes away. What's going on? I'm like 2 minutes away from my girlfriend's house. I know I put divorced dad in the thing. I'm not really a divorced dad. Um, I'm not even a single dad. I just fucking, I'm living on my own right now for various reasons. But yeah, man, I just wanted to get on here and just do a little stream. But what are you guys doing? What's everybody up to? If you guys haven't watched my new video too, please go watch it. It's not conspiracy related. It's not my usual stuff, but I'm fucking super proud of it, dude. I every year around this time of year, I've got some smudge on my screen. Around this time of the year, I get really into the Roman Empire, and I start playing Rome Total War again, and I start watching. I just basically go through it. I watch literally every movie I can about the Roman Empire. And when you do that, you find that most of the really good swords and sandals kind of peplum movies are come from actually Italy. And I've seen so many of these movies, and they're fucking great. And I wanted to do like a little tribute. I don't do those type of trailers often, but I really wanted to mimic the style of, you know, like a 1970s Italian film about the Roman Empire. And I think I did a pretty good job. I built a Laura for it. I fucking went through and downloaded a bunch of old 60s and 70s movies about Rome and built like, you know, an image model based off those. And it was cool, man. It was a lot of fun. And now that I've got that out of my system, I can go back to working on Lucky Larry stuff again. I cannot announce it right now, but I have a fucking huge announcement to make about that and related matters on. I'll probably be able to announce it on Monday. But the point is, your boy is very much back in the game, and I'm just so fucking grateful, man. I'm so grateful to God for putting me in this position. and putting me through the struggles that he did, and the hardship, and getting me ready, um, because the shit I've got to do now, it's like challenging, but in a good way. And it's going to be big, man. And the possibility of Lucky Larry becoming a real film, and us being able to raise the money we need to raise, just like basically went up tenfold. But it's going to be cool, man. And so I'm really excited to announce that for you guys. And yeah, I'm just excited to talk about it. It is 11 o'clock. You're right. I don't have to be up as early now because I work far closer. For the past like 3 weeks, I've been driving an hour to and from work. Because while I was waiting on this place to be ready to move in and getting all my money together, I was staying in my hometown at my dad's, which, very grateful I was able to do that, but lived, I haven't lived, with either of my parents since I was like 17. So, it still sucks. Like, it's not a situation anybody wants to do late in their 30s, but sometimes that happens, man. That happens. Sometimes motherfuckers gotta get back and stack the money up and humble themselves, and that's exactly what I did. But my dad was a super cool sport about it, and thank you. I appreciate you, Cole. Um, and so now that phase is over. Your boy is in the crib. I'm in my new spot. It's fucking super empty, super quiet. I love it. I need to buy a rod for a shower curtain. I need to buy actual curtains. Like, bro, like, none of the windows in this bitch even have fucking curtains or blinds on them yet. I gotta talk to my landlord about that. She told me there's gonna be blinds. There's no blinds. It doesn't even fucking matter though, bro. It really doesn't even matter. If people gotta see my dong through the window, that's just what it is. But I'm just really, I'm really happy. I'm in Ohio. I am Ohio born and bred, man. And truthfully, to be honest with you, unless there's some sort of cataclysmic thing and I leave the country, there's definitely a couple foreign countries I would like to live in that I think I could live in. Everybody thinks they could until they actually go there. Um, but yeah, I will probably stay in Ohio for most of my life if I can. I really enjoy it here. The people are different here. Ohio gets like quite the bad rap on the internet. Everybody loves to like shit on Ohio and be like, bro, ooh, fucking Ohio, and then like you go anywhere in the world and you tell people they're from Ohio and they're like, oh, Ohioans are cool fucking people and blah blah blah, because we are. We are a very middle ground, balanced people. We can be aggressive and angry, and very direct, like city East Coast people are, but we also are hospitable and have that sort of Midwestern, come inside and eat, it's cold out there thing going on. And, most of the people I've loved the most in this world are from Ohio. Many of them aren't, though. But I fuck with Ohio, man. It's beautiful here. It's a beautiful motherfucking state. People don't talk about, and, you can go anywhere and it's beautiful. But if I was young, I could go anywhere. We could do Azores, Ohio. I was a kid, a roller coaster. Yeah, dude, we do have more theme parks than anywhere in the country. I don't know why. We've got a really good zoo. We've got the second best zoo in the country. We have more species of spiders than anywhere in the country. Virtually no natural disasters, virtually no animals that can kill you. We have bobcats, and no one has died from a bobcat in like, I don't know, 200 years maybe. And we have the brown recluse spider. We have the deadliest spider in the world, and we have one of the deadliest snakes. We have copperhead snakes here, which are fucking scary. Other than that, though, bro, animals are not going to kill you in Ohio, no matter where you go. And there are a few bears somewhere, like up in the hills, kind of like on your way to Cleveland if you're traveling north. But mostly the thing that's going to kill you in Ohio is just Ohioans. We do have a good amount of murder and guns and stuff like that. But I mean, that's the U.S. There's a lot of places in the U.S. that have that. But for the most part, all of our... here's the other thing about Ohio that I will say. If you come to Ohio, You are going to get a winter that looks like the winter, a springtime that looks like the springtime, a summertime that's hot as fuck and stinky, and then the most like S tier, you know, chick in a thick sweater with a pumpkin spice latte fall ever. Like the falls in the Midwest just go crazy, but all of our seasons are super pronounced here, and I didn't really understand it or recognize it till my brother moved away out west for about 10 years, and him and his wife just couldn't take it anymore. They were just like, we miss the seasons. Like it's when every day is between 70 and 90 degrees, it's just like the weather ceases to be nice ever. It's not nice, it's not bad, it's just like, and that would drive me crazy too, I think. Because like, you know, if you live anywhere, especially like on the East Coast where the winters are like fucking brutal, you know, you'll get those like handful of days. It's maybe like 12 to 14 days out of the year where like literally you do feel like, oh, I could live in this climate forever. And Ohio is very much the same way. We have two sections of the year where it's like the weather is just like genuinely perfect and feels better than any other weather you've ever felt. But that's not most of the time. Most of the time, you're either scraping ice off your car, you are sweating your fucking balls off because it's super humid. There's also a lot of water in Ohio. If you look at like an actual terrain map of Ohio, it's just lined with rivers going down into the Ohio River. So we have a ton of fresh water in Ohio. It's a very precipitous state. It rains a lot here, which I fuck with. I love rainy, cloudy days. That's like my thing. But not like full on Seattle status or whatever. But I mean, there have been plenty of years where we get more rain than the state of Washington does. But because it's Ohio, people just don't even mention it. And I also, this is the last thing I'll say. I also heard something interesting that people say basically all the regions in the U.S. are named based on their relative position to Ohio. Like the South is south of Ohio, the Northeast is northeast of Ohio, the Midwest is mid and west of Ohio, the West Coast is west, you know, far away, and the Southwest, it's like, it's the heart of it all, baby. I don't know what to tell you guys. Ohioan supremacy, just whatever. You know what I mean? We've got shitty pro football teams. We've got S-tier college football teams. We've got, and I don't even follow sports like that. You know what I mean? We've got NBA teams. We've got shitty hockey teams. So there's just a lot going on. And the one thing Ohio really has is people, dude. There's a fuck ton of people that live in this state. It's like 12, 13 million, I think. So, and the one thing is too, Ohio is a very musical state. We have a lot of music here. I mean, I am like virtually nobody, and I was able to basically have a career for 10 years in live music. And it probably could have went a lot longer if I didn't have a kid, and if I also wasn't totally burnt out on it and just kind of half-assing it for a while, which, you know, I kind of regret sometimes, but not like right now, but just sometimes I wish I kind of kept the connections a little better into the music business. But the fact is, like, I made a living and could like support myself and pay all of my bills off of like booking pretty much local music for the most part, and it was that vibrant and able to do, like, you know, there was that much money in it. But as time went on, you really find that the live music business is the alcohol business. You know, they're there to sell booze, basically. And Zoomers and like young people just don't drink like millennials and Xers and everybody before them did. And that creates a lot of, it dries up a lot of opportunities, because basically a venue wants to have a band there because there's a chance they can sell more alcohol. So if they know it's a risk for them to sell alcohol, they're going to go for the thing that isn't the risk, which is like cover bands, DJs, stuff like that. So it didn't, you know, there was a time where it was very viable for a business to take a risk on local music because there was enough really interesting artists to do that. And now it's just not the same. Because the other thing is Zoomers, and with a lot of younger creators, you're always going to have your people that are like true blue artists and can really stand out. But with a lot of Zoomers, what I've noticed is they are so good at like setting the table, and the table that and plate that the meal is on is really unique. Or not even unique, but just like so well done and refined. And the meal itself is a little lacking. I think a lot of Zoomers are way better at looking like cool artists and looking like interesting artists than they are at making actual interesting art. And you know, they're good at what they do. It's not that they're bad. It's just that like it's almost like there's no one who is bad. Like there's some artists that like really swing for the fences and miss. And you know, that sucks for them in certain ways, but at the same, like, think about the movie The Room, right? Tommy Wiseau, you know, from the heart, earnestly made this fucking terrible movie that was genuinely so terrible it became a real piece of art that people looked at for one way or another. And yeah, a lot of people were there to make fun of it, but it even spawned a movie about the making of it. And you know, that's what comes with swinging for the fences. That's the kind of stuff you get for it. What's going on? What is my name? My name's Timeline Junkie. I'm not going to give out my real name on here. I might have a lot of random people in the fucking chat. I never even consider that too when I go live. I always just think it's like my diehards that are in here. But yeah, like I don't know, man. A lot of younger artists, I think they're too attuned to the algorithm, and they, you know, for an example, I see a lot of young artists, music artists, that I'm watching them promote their stuff, and they're saying like, we're just a young grunge rock band from Skokie, Illinois. Where are all my fans of Bush and Alice in Chains and Candlebox at? And like, when you're an artist, they're just like, do I have a boyfriend? Yeah, dude, I've got 3 actually. When like when you're an artist, like the worst thing to happen to you is when someone's like, oh, you sound like so and so, or you remind me of so and so. Like you don't like being compared to stuff, and it's fucking annoying when that happens. But then now, because of how the algorithms work, it's like incentivized. You know what I mean? Oh no. If guys are asking me if I have a boyfriend in here, maybe they're taking the divorce dad thing seriously, or I'm getting botted. This could be my first botting, you guys. You have boyfriend? Do you have boyfriend? You're divorced dad. Do you want boyfriend? That's fucking funny. Creepy bots, dude. I'm telling you, they're gonna get way creepier as time goes on, dude. My handler, you are gay. You have boyfriend. You are gay. No, dude. Yeah, dude. That's good. I want trolls, dude. Bring them on. They don't bother me. They genuinely don't. I've never really got to have any. I've never had a lot of like, I've never had a lot of haters and stuff like that. So if the haters are coming, you know that's how the success goes. But you are ungay. You have boyfriend. We'll go ahead and get him out of here. People are weird, but fuck it, man. I don't give a shit. That's also why you don't name your live streams what I name them. Tonight's episode is brought to you by Cutwater. I had to put the bottle of tequila away. I had to get in a new mind frame because of all these recent developments and the fact that I have to work like 70 fucking hours next week, starting tomorrow. And because like Thursdays are like my Mondays basically with how my work schedule is. And so, you know, but I'm just wired right now, dude. And I want to tell you guys the fucking news I got, but I gotta wait a couple more days. I wanted to tell you guys for a while, but I can't because I don't want to promise stuff and then not be able to deliver. But I got it like full on confirmed today, and it's major Yeah, I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just too cool that people don't want to hate me. I highly doubt that is the case. But like, I don't have a lot of haters. I haven't had even like anti AI haters, because those are like, there's other people in the AI community that I know that like they're getting like death threats like in the mail and shit. And there's so many people that really fucking hate on them for that. And yeah, even like the rich people though, I don't know. See, I wonder too how much I don't myself, I personally don't think I'm really a threat to like the system. Like I would never be that presumptuous to think that my work is that important. Ex-music amateur producer, been writing the most offensive music in AI. Love it, hate it. You can make some money. But if I can make some money, I'm hiring true performers. Yeah, Bertrand Russell. That's funny. Um, yeah, I've never really done much with AI music, to be honest with you. I think I have maybe prompted one AI music track in my whole life, and I kind of hated it. It was for a commercial gig anyway. It was for like a client gig. But I have no hate in my heart for people that do make AI music, especially, I mean, the capability of it is just absolutely mind blowing. Um, when AI image creators pretend they're painters on Instagram, that is actually annoying. I will say this, guys. I definitely use AI to get my stuff done cheaper and easier, and I've never made any bones about that. However, like, it's nothing on this earth is more unimpressive than like a cool AI image. Like to me, when AI images get turned into an AI video, like that is a display of an amazing piece of technology. And the AI images are amazing in their own right that it can do that. However, like nobody wants to see it. I've seen a lot of AI images that I'm like, yeah, this is cool and this is great, but like it's the one avenue where the haters are right. It's like this is meaningless, and like most AI art is completely meaningless. And there's, I would say, more than half of all real art is meaningless too. But it's still, there's something about that sort of tangible, tactile effort that somebody puts into something that makes it better. Oh, dude, like I just talked about this in the last live I did, but like I'm seeing AI creators now that I'm like jealous of. That I'm like, damn, dude, like why didn't I think of this? This is such a smart angle, and they're doing like just really cool stuff. Like there's this one channel that does like found footage videos from like different periods in history, and again, like a lot of this stuff, I could tell that they're basically using an agent to kind of compile the video together for them, and they're just kind of going with what they have, which to me is sort of a bitch ass thing to do, only because I do things like the old school kind of, the old school 2025 way, and I don't know, like with the Roman Empire zombie movie thing, I had to like train the image model. I generated all the images for the storyboard. Then I went through and generated it clip by clip, put it together, you know what I mean? Like rendered out all the dialogue in the foreign languages and then assembled it like you would assemble just anything there. And or any like real video or anything like that. And I've done one video with an agent so far. And even then I still had to end up assembling it myself because it's just, it takes too long. It takes too long to let AI compile the whole thing for you when you already know how to do it the old school way. And like editing and like the puzzle of editing is why I do this. Like it's my favorite thing in the world. Um, yeah, and like I'm certainly not the first person to use that kind of like 60s, 70 millimeter cinemascope type thing, aesthetic. But like to do it with that story, because that story is one I actually plan on really writing. I've had a Roman Empire zombie movie in my head for a long time, um, and I was just like nervous to pull it off. But as I was watching let's see, I was watching, I want to say probably Cleopatra or some other one, and I was just like blown away by like just how good it looks and how much better movies looked back then, and how much less brown movies were. Like everything just, I don't even think Gladiator was that bad, but I think that was the start of it, and then the Passion of the Christ as well. But they took a lot of the color out of historical movies, and that just sucks. So, but even I say all that to say I was trying to, I just wanted to make something the old school way. Late antiquity, letterhead, all of like the longer stuff I've done. It's 60% the same way you would make a real film. And so when people just generate an AI image, especially if it's like some abstract bullshit, it's just like, dude, like this isn't impressive in any way, shape, or form. It's just not. And that sucks. We all wish it was. We all wish it was impressive, but it's just not. And however, AI videos, to me, what becomes impressive about it is the person's execution of their concept or idea. Some people, you can clearly tell they went to ChatGPT or they went to Grok and said like, hey, give me 10 ideas for a viral AI account. And they chose one of them and they stuck to it religiously and it worked out for them. And I'm so proud. Am I doing more work in the Vegas shootings? Yes, I am. Absolutely. That is very much on the table. So the plan is bailing out with bare walls. Falling out with bare walls. Oh, yeah, bro. There's an old video of mine on my channel that talks about AI art versus real art or whatever. And I talk about the only pieces of wall art that I own. I hate wall art for the most part. I don't know why. I prefer my creative spaces to be very blank and bland and minimal. I don't like a bunch of other artwork sitting around staring me in the face, influencing me. I don't want that. However, this place I plan on being different, and I'm going to try and change it up. My whole theory on the past few months of my life has been, okay, what have I been doing for the past 3 years? Do the opposite of that. So like anything in my life that I have no real explanation for, and I'm just like, oh, I'm just like, fuck it, I'll do the opposite. I'll just see what the other way is like. And so I'm balling out with bare walls, but I'm balling out with a Cutwater right now. That's just fucking delicious, dude. Little mango margarita. I'm gonna sleep good as fuck tonight. I'm gonna sleep good, dude. I get to sleep in extra because I live closer to work now. Bro, oh my god, and I just remembered I have a Milky Way Midnight in my fridge. You bitches, dude. Oh my god, you bitches don't even understand. Because it doesn't stick to one style, part Archer, part Skinner, darkly rotoscoping, something entirely new. Thank you. I'm trying. Especially with Lucky Larry, I really wanted to try and create kind of a new animation sort of art style that isn't, I don't know. I find most animation, adult animation, to be very boring. I think a lot of people do their super minimalist style that the very like cartoony, like Bob's Burgers, like BoJack, like shit like that. I definitely was influenced by Archer a lot. I was a big fan of Archer. I love that fucking show. That show is like a lightning in a bottle show, in my opinion. But with Lucky Larry, I wanted it to look much more like a graphic novel. I really enjoy graphic novels, not so much like comic book superhero stuff, but like Vertigo comics and a lot of like one-off, just interesting graphic novelizations. And so that's how I was kind of thinking about Lucky Larry. And with Lucky Larry, it's gonna also have a graphic novel. I have either 1 or 2 part graphic novel series planned for it. One of them will run concurrent with the story and kind of be a prequel in a way. And then the other one will be a sort of unofficial sequel to the Lucky Larry movies that follows one central character through it. And essentially it's going to be kind of what an angle of season 2. Oh, dude, heavy metal was a huge influence on me. I saw heavy metal at like 4 in the morning at my friend's house. His parents had HBO. I was trying to see some titties somewhere. You know what I mean? We're talking like 1999. And all of a sudden, this fucking weird, creepy, ugly, dirty looking movie comes on called Heavy Metal. And all I remembered about it was I remember seeing uh, my brother played guitar, so he used to get there were I think it wasn't music, it might have been Musician's Friend, but it was like some magazine that if you even looked at a musical instrument, they would just start sending it to you, and they would have all these T-shirts in there, and one of the T-shirts was heavy metal, and so I recognized, I was like, oh, that's this movie. What's this about? And still to this day, couldn't even fucking tell you the plot of the movie or what it's about. But I actually watched it last year when I was making Lucky Larry, and it it's still great. My favorite thing about like the 1980s heavy metal movie, the animated movie. Um, the my favorite thing about it though is the South Park episode. They did a South Park episode where all of the kids in town start getting high off of like male cat piss, like when they spray for their territory. And and it's funny because like everybody in the town's all worried the kids are getting high off this new super drug and they're like tripping out. But then when you see what it's actually like from their perspective when they're tripping, they go into heavy metal, and it's like a one-to-one copy of the animation and the music and the whole thing, but like the whole world is just made of tits. It's just like a whole like planet of boobs. It's one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen in my life. um, I'm not even really a huge South Park fan, but like, dude, like season like 7, season like I would say probably season 6 through like season 11, they were on fire. Like when they did the Lord of the Rings episode, the World of Warcraft episode, like there was a lot of those where they were just really touching on these cultural things. But when they did the heavy metal episode, it was so impressive, and I want to say they really got a few of the original artists to come back and actually work on that episode. And um, they were even able to get the theme song, the "Won't you take that ride, on heavy metal." That song kicks ass, by the way. Yeah, I fuck with heavy metal though. I do. Um, and I don't know, man. Like animation is the reason I was happy to do it with Lucky Larry is because you have a lot more options. You have a lot more ways that you can do it, and you can experiment more with it than you can with trying to make everything kind of look flat and realistic, which is how I make most of my stuff. Like Letterhead was mostly made with real photographs that I then turned into, moving videos or whatever. And then I generated probably about half of it too with like images from my own head, but a lot of them I just straight up took images that were real because I was like, why the fuck? I'm trying to make it realistic. And if I could just take these still images, these photographers could get way more places than like cameramen could. And it was interesting to do it that way. That's why I really still fuck with Letterhead super hard. But with Lucky Larry, I was like, a story like this, especially if I'm doing it in kind of like the 70s heist movie style, I wanted it to be more colorful. I wanted the world to look a lot more colorful. And I also have a sort of color scheme plan in mind for the Lucky Larry series as it goes on, because it's going to change over the 3 movies, and for various reasons and whatnot. So yeah, I really love I don't know, I've loved getting to do it. I've had other ideas for animated shows kind of, and I'm working on another show with my buddy right now where we use a ton of different animation styles. And once I get serious about like actually live streaming more, like if I go on like Kick or Twitch or even on here on my second channel that I'm gonna make, I will I'll like show people or whatever, or maybe I'll do live streams on my Patreon or something. I feel like being in these live streams real trilogy. Once the trilogy is released, timeline will become famous. Being able to talk directly will become rare. Being able to talk directly with me will probably never become rare. I am far too much of a narcissist to not talk directly to people. No, man. Ultimately, I I'm the type of like fan of stuff that like if people want to, I would read the booklet in the album in the CD when I bought it. I read the back of the box of the DVD. I watch the special features. I listen to the director's commentary. I watch interviews of that person, and it's just something I can't deny anymore. I have fans. I have people that are my fans. They don't know who I am really. They just know my work, and I think that like it's kind of incumbent upon me to do so and to put myself out there in that way and like kind of talk to people. Not that every artist has to, but like people leave me a lot of comments that are questions. And so I like to be able to just kind of have like a direct, because I'm not that good at like writing out and talking in text on the internet. My channel subscription. My channel subscription increase. Oh yeah, dude. So no bullshit. I have been getting about 10 to 15 subscribers every 2 days for the past. I would say for like the past month or so. Pretty much ever since I released that last video, I think. There have been. So there's a live streamer named Mr. Quigley. I don't know if you guys know who that is. I didn't know who that was, but he just shared Lucky Larry on the trailer on his live stream, and he's got about 100,000 subscribers, I think. So I definitely got a little bump from that. How did I come up with Robert Chambers as a faction leader? I looked up the name to show convicted murder. So first of all, I literally just made that name up. I have no idea who the real Robert Chambers is. But now that you've told me that, I'm going to look into it and I'm going to come up with a backstory because that's actually really interesting. So, yeah, man. And look, don't ever feel pressured to fucking give me money and shit if times are tight. I can't support anyone's fucking Patreon right now. But it does go a long way. I can't tell you how many fucking times I was able to buy diapers or fucking get groceries that I desperately needed because people had given me money on Patreon that month. It's a real fucking thing, dude. My only wish is that I had more time to dedicate to kind of like Patreon exclusive content to kind of reward the people that do a little bit. But every time I try to do that, most of the people that are on my Patreon bitch at me for it, and they're like, we don't really care about that, we just want to support. So, and dude, Cole, I think is your name. Thank you, because like that's literally what I want everybody to be doing. That's the only thing I really try to ask of people is like, when you see bigger subscribers that are like tangentially linked or tangentially related to what I do, like they cover topics that I make trailers of, like always tag my shit. Always fucking tell people about me if you can, because even if that person doesn't see it, the algorithm sees it. The Bohemian Grove guy, that's Michael Chertoff. He is the author of the Patriot Act. He was he worked for the Department of Justice for a long time. He was actually the head prosecutor in the case against Zacarias Moussaoui, who was one of the only people actually convicted and thrown in jail for 9/11, even though he actually wasn't really super related to 9/11, the hijackers. He kind of had his own terrorist plot that he bought a plane, and they caught him coming into Canada, and what it seems like is that he was actually a backup for some of the hijackers. They believe that Al Qaeda had a backup team of hijackers in case their guys got caught. That's the official story. Long story short, Michael Chertoff is the guy who convicted him, and then he was given his position, and basically the Patriot Act went through, but he was the chief author of the Patriot Act. So, and that's his real voice, I believe, that I used. So, interesting guy, very interesting guy. But Do I know of Richard Grove? Yeah, I've seen. I didn't know who Richard Grove was, but he's been sharing my stuff a lot, which is cool. How could they reach out to you if Grand Theft World to talk about booking you for an interview? My email is the best way. Like, I literally check my email every day. Nobody fucking emails me. I have people that are like, hey, how do I reach out? How do I contact you? I give them my email, and then no one fucking reaches out. And so, and like, I guess YouTube has messaging again. Um, oh, the 9/11 thing in September? I might be there as well. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm a lot more known in those circles now. Lucky Larry has done the rounds enough. I mean, it's been a year since the concept trailer dropped, um, and I'm a lot more known in those circles. A lot more people uh, know who I am and have talked to me, and I've been working on a promo video for that 9/11 event. There's got to be some sort of shadow ban because Lucky Larry should have at least 1 million views. I mean, yes, it should, but at the same time, man, like when I uploaded it, I had, I think, maybe 2,000 subs. Like, I was a really small channel when it first got uploaded, and I'm still a really small channel. Um, Trying to reach out to Jimmy Dore. Yes, I'm actually currently trying to reach out to Jimmy Dore. Uh, Man, look, when it comes to oh God, there's just so much shit I can't tell you guys right now. I just can't tell you guys because there's exciting stuff happening, but I can't. Long story short, though, I'm very much more known in the 9/11 circles now than I am in like the conspiracy circles. I don't do a lot of stuff on religion. I don't do a lot of stuff on aliens. I don't do a lot of stuff on. I guess late antiquity is the only thing I've ever done on like. Hyperborea, Agartha, the kind of like old, whatever they're called, the hidden civilizations and shit. But, my main thing are sort of 21st century conspiracies for the most part. I would say that's my range. And, when I started with Letterhead, I had a lot of like MAGA followers that were like political people. And then I started getting weirder and they were like, whoa, 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 what is this? Grand Theft World could get you in direct. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like the Grand Theft World guys, they've shown my shit before, I believe, right? Is that what you're talking about? Because like I'll see people showing my shit, and I'm like, I have no idea who these people are. And then I look, and they're like, they've got an audience, like they're like big, and I'm sure they feel the same way about me. But it's interesting. It's interesting how this all works. The conspiracy world. It's this. I mean, I got a big dose of it in live music, right? I know what it's like, and how tears of, fuck, what am I trying to say? It's like, okay, if you're in a subculture of any kind, right? You will, first you'll be a fan, then you will. Late antiquity Planking's material. What is Planking's material? Oh, Paskins? Rick Paskins? That may be what you're talking about? I love late antiquity more than anything I've done. Now, don't get me wrong. In a couple months, that's going to switch back to Lucky Larry because, like, I, like, cried to myself at how happy I was making Lucky Larry and how fulfilled I felt when it was completed. Even though I look back on it now and it's, like, a fucking mess. And there's so much I want to change. But in the moment, it was a very intense moment for me creating that and going through that research. But Late Antiquity is like, that's like a freestyle movie for me. Late Antiquity was like just me spitting off the dome. And that's what was really fun about it, is just like getting to be like, okay, I've got this stupid little idea. And then just getting to execute for better or for worse. And a lot of people seem to really enjoy it. And that made me very happy because I wanted it to be... I wanted Late Antiquity to be like my Gone with the Wind, but like I wanted it to be retarded too. I wanted to make something that was like so sincere and earnest and serious and dark and grim, and also retarded. And I think I did a good job on the retarded stuff. But thank you for saying that. And I also like hearing that people like stuff more than... I was just picking my nose right there. Didn't even get a booger. I just need to cut my nose hairs. I also like when people tell me they like something more than Lucky Larry, because when Lucky Larry was really blowing up, I was kind of worried that I was like a one-trick pony, and this is going to be the only thing people wanted from me, and that's why I made Lucky Larry. And the response was really, really good, and it let me know that like it's not that I'm not a one-trick pony. That people, aren't just going to like me, even though more people have joined my channel because of Lucky Larry than anything else. I get that, but I really like knowing that there are people that want to see the Vegas stuff, and dude, and I'll tell you what, man, like it'll be a while. Like I'm probably gonna do the Lucky Larry trilogy, or at least one or two of the movies, and Deviation before getting into the Vegas movie. And so far, right now, the Vegas movie is actually a duology. It's two films. But even then, when I look at the story and then I like try to picture that story as a script, I'm like, oh, this is probably going to be like 4 movies or a mini series. Because it's just, the story is just so fucking big and all over the place. And that's one of those movies that I've wanted to make so bad. I wanted to do it so bad. And I know I'm the one to do it, but I know I'm not the right, like I need to mature more before I can make it the right way. I don't know, I'm not ready. Like if we're talking Quentin Tarantino, like that's going to be like my Jackie Brown or my Inglourious Bastards. I can't tell which one. Probably Jackie Brown. I don't want it to be so over the top that it's like corny. I want it to be what it needs to be. I'm trying to make a movie that's like at the level of like Heat, like a real crime epic. And I'm not ready. I can just tell I'm not ready to make the movie. I've got to write the story for a couple more years. I've got to put at least 3-4 months back into research. And fuck, man, there's just a lot. But I'm so excited to do it. But that's going to be my real grown man movie. The Vegas movies it's like deep, dude. The lore goes fucking deep. And 9/11 is like my Pulp Fiction. 9/11, the Lucky Larry stuff is like my Pulp Fiction shit. That's the one where I know I'm in my bag, and I'm just like shooting from the free throw line, free throw, shooting. I'm sinking threes. I'm Ray Allen in fucking 2009, and I know what I'm doing with Lucky Larry. I know exactly how to make this shit work. I know exactly how to fucking execute this shit. I know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing with it. And when it comes to the Vegas shit, bro, I'm just not ready. Now, what I will say is with the Vegas movies, I do plan on... I have like the stock footage and like all this extra shit already for it. But I'm going to do a like big hour-long either stream or video. Probably just Patreon only for that, like goes through the actual story of the Vegas movie, and tries to kind of explain really where it's at and sort of my take on the conspiracy. And big shout out to John Collin, the rudest guy on the fucking planet for no reason at all. And Gen Z needs more than a movie to tell it. Dude, I'll tell you what, that's the dumbest fucking thing about what I do. Is that I'm bad at clipping stuff. And dude, let me say this right now. If there's anybody out there watching that wants to help me clip up my stuff and create clips for me, I cannot pay you right now. But I promise you, I will remember you, and as soon as I have the money to start paying people, I will start paying you. And if you want to help me, that's something I really need help with, dude. Because I'm a fucking dumbass. Like, I'm bad at clipping my own stuff. I can pay you? You can pay me for letting you clip stuff? That doesn't seem right. When the movie comes out, the town has some wild shit going. Dude, it sure does. Vegas does have some wild shit going on all of the time. But I mean, it's not like it's gonna be 5 years before I make the movie or anything. It's just that like right now, Lucky Larry is on the front burner. I just really cannot stress that enough, man. Like it's Lucky Larry is just it's the most important thing for me right now. And that's annoying, but it is what it is. And I have to I have to do this. And I can be less of a dumbass in the process. Dude, hit me up. TimelineJunkieFilms@gmail.com. Don't be a fucking pussy. Hit me up for real, and we will literally talk about this, bro. Like I promise you, like I'm not a unattainable person. I am a dude in a blank fucking apartment with a mattress on the floor. I'm nobody special, and I need help. I just can't pay people right now to help me. But yes, I need help. I want a team. I would love to have a team. I would love to have people that ran a Discord for me where everybody fucking talks to each other. I just think Discord is gay. No contact with Kurt yet. Probably not gonna be any contact with Kurt until I talk to Jimmy Dore first because like these motherfuckers have careers, dude. They're busy. Half of these dudes like literally probably support like a third of their family members with their money. Like um their job, yes, is talking about conspiracies and all this other shit, but like dude, they got real lives. So like I'm never like, oh my god, they won't talk to me. Like I totally get it, dude. I wouldn't fucking talk to me. But at the same time, it's just like this is how it's got to be, bro. When they're ready to talk to me, they will. And I'm fucking excited for that. Kurt seems cool. All these guys. I mean, like, dude, I would love to meet Ian Carroll or, the only guy I think is a complete doofus is James Lynn. I think James Lynn is so fucking goofy. He is such a goofball, dude. And I also hate when a lot of these new conspiracy people, they overuse the word psyop. They say, "Oh, this is the worst psyop ever." Oh, this is a psyop, and it's like, psyop stands for psychological operation. A lot of these things are just operations. Like they don't care about the psychology of people through it. They just want a result for something they're doing. It's like a black operation, and it's just like a lot of these people are so clearly just like doing buzzwordy shit. They're just doing like buzzwordy. I mean, they're just here because it's a popular space to be. You can get a lot of view money and click money from talking about conspiracies and shit like that, which is cool. I mean, it's fucking cool, dude. People can do what they want, but at the same time, a lot of it, it's like you can tell when people are kind of fake. Ian Carroll at least seems genuinely interested in stuff, but I've also seen him dig his heels in on shit that it was just like, bro, it's genuinely not that deep. Like, it's just not. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. But, fuck it, though. Fuck it, though. But I would love to meet all these guys, and I'm going to get to meet them. I know I will. Some of them will be disappointing. Some of them will be cool. Some of them will be friendly. Some of them will be dicks. It's just how it goes. Cooter maxing. What the fuck is that? Yo, what up? Thank you, Patreon supporter. Kurt has more time than most of them. It seems like it. Kurt seems like a very freewheeling guy. He really does. And I have a feeling Kurt seems like, I would love to see Kurt Metzger. Like, I would love to talk to him about what his like serious movie ideas are. I'll bet you he's got some like actual real. He seems like a guy that's got real pain in his life. A dude that laughs as much as him has clearly experienced a lot of really fucked up pain. And I'd be interested to hear those stories. I bet he's got industry pain too. Like Kurt Metzger was a writer for Amy Schumer. Any updates on Deviation? Deviation is, so first of all, the script is completed. Kurt also just made a comic series. So the script of Deviation is completed. Myself and my friend who are creating that movie together, we are working on another show first that is slightly less involved. but we're both really kind of have a hard on for the idea right now. And we're doing that so we can figure out the real workflow that we want to do. Oh, Jehovah's Witnesses. Okay, that's what it is. That makes sense. So you keep saying with Richard Grove, like, I've reached out to him. I told him, like, hey, if you ever want me on the podcast to talk, like, this is what pisses me off, dude. Like, I tell people, like, okay, in the music thing, I got interviewed a lot. A lot of people wanted to hear what I had to say, and I was good at talking. I was one of the first people kind of in my city to have a podcast. And so, like, I know how to yap, dude. Like, I can yap. I can talk for a long time. And I'm a good interview guest. And I know about, like, dead air and, you know, like, I know what to do. And, but you can't just, like, go to somebody and be like, hey, interview me. Because, like, that's gay and presumptuous. And so I try to let my fans do it for me. And but it's annoying because, like, a lot of these guys have these, like, platforms. They could interview me. They say they like me. They say they love my shit. And it's like, well, then fucking interview me, dude. And also, yes, if you could do that on Discord, that'd be sweet. I am just not on Discord like that because, from what I can tell, Discord is essentially just a mega super group chat, and I hate group chats. Like 90% of the Discords that I joined, I had this one group of people that were, like, all doing this, like, investigative shit on Epstein. And, like, dude, every single channel just devolves into, like, there's just one motherfucker that just won't stop putting memes in there. And there's just people in there that, like, are clearly using it as just, like, their only social outlet. And it's like, that shit just pisses me off sometimes, dude. It's like, if we're here to work on something specific, let's do that. But there's always somebody just fucking it all up. And there's just something, I don't know. I know I need it. I know it's important. I know it's the way things are getting done now. Yes, it's like a day drunk bar. That's hilarious, and that's so true. There's just something very, like, I don't know, man. Maybe it's like the old guy in me, but there is just something inherently gay to me about just sitting on your computer and chit-chatting with other people all fucking day. And that's not nearly what everybody uses Discord for. Plenty of people are just using Discord because they're connecting with other people that they need to connect with. Someone needs to show you Whoopi. But, like, there's a lot of motherfuckers that are just in Discord. They ruin it for everybody. It's like, yo, bro, because you're just chit-chatting in here. You're chit-chatting like a little lady. And you're making it gay. And I don't like it. And I don't have that kind of fucking time to just sit and kick it. Like, I've had a lot of really nice people hit me up and be like, yo, this is our private Discord. We all just kick it in here. We watch movies and talk about stuff. And, like, they're being nice. Like, they're just trying to be nice and, like, invite me to something. And then I get in there and it's just a bunch of people talking. And I'm just like, I don't like this. This is not. And that's what also when I realized that, like, I have fucked my brain up so bad in terms of, like, bro, I'm just not comfortable unless I'm working on stuff. I don't know how to relax. I don't know how to go on vacation. I've never been on a vacation in my adult life that I enjoyed. I've never once come back and felt like, oh, I'm well rested, and oh, no, like, I don't like it, dude. I want to work. I want to work on my stuff. I want to get everything out of my way and work on my stuff. And the only fucking thing that has powered through that, the only thing that has defeated that feeling is my son and being a dad. And even as he gets older and he's getting more sick of me, I am just, like, more comfortable. You know, I had a really fucking timeline is wearing a skin suit. No, man, I'm just like, I mean, you got to keep in mind, man, a lot of people from 26 to, you know, what am I now? Fucking 37. A lot of people worked really hard during that time. Most people, like, started a career and did a bunch of, like, adult grown-up shit. And, like, for that entire period of time, I was basically just doing whatever I wanted every single day. And I got to create. I got to work with artists every single day. I got to do drugs whenever I wanted. I got to go meet women whenever I want. Like, it was like, it's not like I was like rich and balling out either. It's just that like I was rich in time. I had all the time in the world to myself, and I chose to be productive with it towards my artistic endeavors and what I thought was important, which initially started first with me, but then as I learned how things worked, it actually grew out, and I spent a lot of time and energy on other people and on the music scene and sort of like the whole community, and it changed my life for the better in a lot of ways, and it taught me how to grow up. But I grew up in a very weird environment, and most other people were doing a lot of boring and hard things in a time when I was doing what I was doing was hard, but not in the way that digging trenches is hard, not in the way that getting up and going to the same corporate job under fluorescent lights is hard. So I went to prison at 18 to 24, and a struggle since. Dude, I have never been to prison. I admire people that get out of prison and fucking do something with their lives. And I do mean something in terms of anything that isn't what got them into prison. Like, if you get out of prison and you only work at a gas station, like, good on you, dude. Like, that's fucking dope. But, like, I've never been to prison, and I've done things that I could have gone to prison for. Not, like, super serious things, but, like, I've never, like, shot anybody. I've never fucking sold crack. I've never, done anything like that. But I've definitely done some illegal shit, and I've certainly been around a lot of it. And I do kind of feel, I watch a lot of fucking those like ex-con podcasts, like Johnny Collins. I love hearing this, when I'm like down on my shit, I love hearing stories of like ex-cons that like went through crazy shit, went to prison, and then got out. And then were like, they like killed it. They like did something. But yeah, I have no idea what being in jail is like. I would probably, if it was longer than, I mean, now I can't say that because I have a son, but like if I was 18 to 24 and I got sent to prison for more than 5 years, I would probably kill myself. Like, hands down, I'd probably do it. Just because, like, again, given what my young life was like, the only thing I've ever cared about, my friend lit a puppy on fire. Whoa, that's super fucked up. Wait a minute. You're not the same guy that went to prison. What are you talking about? In front of his mom and filled it? Why are you even telling me that? That just bummed me out. Okay, guys, don't all start confessing the most fucked up things that have ever happened in your life either. That's not what I was trying to get at. I've like, seen a jar full of Molly and shit like that. And I've seen like an ounce of cocaine, but I've never fucking didn't do a lot of animal abuse. But anyway, but hey, Skylar, at least you weren't there, I guess. Or maybe you were, but if that person, Sean Ryan might one day. That's how you'll know I'm really important, when the Fed podcaster front guys start taking interest in me. You'll know that the Feds got me when I have some big gay house in Tennessee and I talk about being a Catholic. And and I start doing gun reviews, and I start answering questions about what my everyday carry is. That's how you know. That's absolutely how you'll know the Feds got me. You're like, damn, he's talking about his fucking Glock, whatever. And like, dude, I fuck with guns too. Don't get me wrong. Like, no, I actually really talk to Sean Ryan, because I'm not gonna lie. A lot of his podcasts have really had a big impact on me. And I think he is incredible at what he does. And he's, for all the Fed accusations, I will say this. I think he is actually pretty genuine. Of course, no, you can never trust anybody that's been in the CIA. But you guys also have to keep in mind, he was in the CIA in the capacity that, like, he was a security guard. Like, essentially, that's what he was. He was there to make sure the evil spooks didn't get killed while they were doing evil spook stuff. Like, he was a grunt. He was like a muscle man for them. No doubt, nefarious in its own ways. But at the end of the day, it's like I don't think they ever let an old goofy ass Sean Ryan who has struggled reading, he has a hard time reading fucking big words. I don't think they're letting him in on the fucking secrets of Area 51. You know what I mean? So he seems genuine, and also I think it's kind of yeah, he is a drug dealer. Wage cuck in construction, dude. I'm a wage cuck too, dude. Wagey life. Let's get it, brother. Let's get it. Um, but yeah, like I don't know, the drug dealer shit kind of made me trust him for real. I was like, damn, dude. Because I will say, and no lie, if there's any like old Timeline Junkie fans, Sean Ryan is the reason I created Rick Paskins, my thread character that goes through all my stuff. I created the first Rick Paskins video because I was trying to make a Sean Ryan film. And then I decided not to make it about Sean Ryan because I didn't really want him to sue me. Sean Ryan seems like he's pretty about that action when it comes to, I do fuck with him for that, to where, like, if somebody says some shit about it, he's like, all right, I need to talk to you guys about something. This person said this and that, and he'll, like, get right in a person's face and shit. I mean, he handles it like a dude that was in the fucking Navy SEALs, which is kind of cool. I appreciate people that are just like, oh, you're talking shit? Well, let's address it. Let's talk about it right fucking now. And I didn't want him to get I didn't want a guy like that mad at me, pretty much. But ultimately, though, I think his story of him being a drug dealer in Colombia, number one, I would totally... That's why I never went into the military or went into the CIA. Like, bro, if I had that kind of knowledge and capability and skill and training, I could not be trusted to not go to Colombia and fuck a ton of Colombian whores and get addicted to cocaine and become a drug dealer and start killing people. At the age he was when he did that, I would not have the moral constitution to resist that urge of being just going out on the edge, man, and just doing wild shit. I couldn't do that. I would totally do that. I would become a drug dealer in Colombia. I would have sex with Colombian whores. I would frame drug dealers. Like, I would do all types of evil shit. And it's mainly because if you're in the CIA, you just know how to do the shit. You just know how to do that. Like, a lot of those CIA people that they just drop in a foreign country somewhere, like, they teach you how to run a business. They teach you how to make just a successful business on your own and how to trade and how to generate dark money. So it's like, you think selling coke is like extreme for them? Like, that's not a thing. Yeah. First of all, this is like 30% of all police. Like, bro, let me give you guys some fucking lore, dude. I'm gonna smoke a cigarette. We'll get some fucking lore going about where I'm from. I'm from a little town in Ohio of about 40,000 people. I guess it's a little city. But my best friend, growing up, his fucking uncle was the sheriff. Now, the town I grew up in was very much, at the time, a Catholic city. I was not Catholic, but I went to a Catholic school. My parents had to pay more money in tuition because we did not go to church on the days of obligation, as Catholics call it. Which, the fact they use the word obligation is so funny. But, so, we were Catholic, or we were not Catholic, but all my friends were Catholic growing up, right? And it was the only private school in the little city. So if, people that had money, they sent their kids there. Now, my parents really didn't have money, but they wanted me to have a good education, so they sent me there. And I'm very thankful for that too, by the way. So, all my friends, their parents were either a lawyer or somebody important or like a judge or whatever. A lot of the kids I knew, their parents were just the people that kind of ran the city. And so my best friend, his uncle is the sheriff. And the sheriff, I remember one year we all went to the fair. And I couldn't believe it because, like, his uncle, the sheriff, got us all like something like 20 kids, dude. Like 20 kids got like a full weekend pass bracelet to the fair, which I know like isn't, you know, the most baller thing in the world now as a grown man, but like when you're 12 years old, that's the most baller shit I've ever seen in my life. And I was just like, oh my god, that had to be like $500-600 or something like that. So cut to like a few years later, right? And this same sheriff gets busted in this huge investigation, and him and his deputies, about 10 of his deputies, were selling drugs, and they were basically using the money from like drug stings to enrich themselves. So they would say, we're going to do like a buy and bust and we need $1,200. Then they would add a zero to that, and then they would take, you know, $11,000 or $10,800 or whatever. And like they would just ball out. They would just like go to Hilton Head and like go fucking fishing and shit like that. And so, you know, he ended up getting busted. The guy he got busted by was a young deputy that went to the church that my family actually went to, which was a non-denominational Protestant church. And so, dude, it's a great cigarette. It's a great cigarette. So anyway, so the whole kind of order, because if you understand how local politics works, the sheriff is like an incredibly important person in a town like this. The town that I grew up in was along a major drug route. It was along a highway where a ton of drugs traveled south through the north. And so we had a massive drug problem where I grew up. And there was like not a ton of crime per se, as in like violent crimes and break-ins and shit like that. There was a ton of drug crime though. And so anyway, he like got in there and said, oh, we're gonna clean it up. And so my buddy's uncle ended up going to prison for like 12 years. So one of my roommates, this dude I lived in with that was a lot older than me, not really a lot older, I think he was like 7 or 8 years, but I lived in a house with my two buddies I worked with, and this dude was a meth dealer, and he used to be a meth dealer, and he left Ohio for like 10 years because he thought he had warrants, and like literally didn't have warrants. He just like literally geeked himself out by being too fucking spun off meth. And so then he fucking comes back, and but he was telling me, I remember telling him this story, and he was like, oh dude, I know that motherfucker. He was like, he would fucking like have us selling meth for him. Like him and his little gang of people, like they were selling drugs for the police. And so like, yeah, dude, like half of the guys that get into the Department of Corrections, the police, the sheriffs, whatever it is, they are the exact same dude they would be locking up if they didn't go that route. Like half of these dudes, like cops do not make a lot of money. Like they don't. And so like they're from the same neighborhoods that a lot of these other people that do this shit are from. So like why wouldn't they do that? You think DEA agents are that different? And dude, like anybody will switch the fuck up being around $12 million in cash. Like anybody, like money makes everybody funny, dude. And I'm no different. That's why I stay my ass away from official shit like that. And I choose to isolate and stay in like the art world. Because like, dude, I'm not like, I would, if I was a cop, I would totally, if some crack dealer that's like fucking poisoning his community, if I busted him and he had like $8 grand in his dresser, like yes, I would take that shit. Like absolutely, dude. Like what? Of course, 100% I would take that shit. And that's why I'm not a cop. Like I shouldn't be a cop, so I'm not one. And so I know my limitations. But 90, 100 to, yeah, and like 90K, 120K a year is pretty good. But like, keep in mind, those guys that make that, they're looking at their administrative bosses that have like literally salaries almost as big as the president's salary. And yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. Like a sheriff's salary is like not shit. Like I know for a fact I've made more in a year before than like whatever the cops around me were making that year. And that was off of like live music. So, like, yeah, dude, they're gonna steal shit. They're gonna do all that stuff, and that's part of the plan. Because as soon as those cops do that stuff, they get busted by their own people, or they get busted by the other side of the fence, and they're saying like, well, we could get you put away because we know what you've done, so you're going to work for us now. Or the bigwigs that are trying to do some dirty shit, they know that you are a team player, so to speak, and it's like, now you're in, dude. You made the deal with the devil. You bit the apple. You know what I mean? And it never ends. And I'm sure there are guys that like got into the drug game and did their few little rips or jugs and got out and they're fine. You know what I mean? I'm sure that happens, but I don't think it happens very often. Every major drug dealer I've ever known who made a lot of money was terrible at managing money because they made so much of it that they never needed to watch how they spent it. But then when they actually needed managed money and they needed some put over here for a lawyer or some put over here for this reason or that reason, they didn't have it because they spent it all on retarded shit. And so, it's just, and that's why I was never a drug dealer, man. I was never, I sold weed one time for like, I think 3-4 months because I was saving up to buy an Xbox 360. And I got the 360 and I stopped selling weed. It was just a fucking hassle anyway. Like, being a drug dealer is just not that cool. The Fed guys usually can't afford to live in the city that their field office is in. I don't know, maybe. Fuck them though, they're feds. Who the fuck cares? um, and the other thing is, like, yeah, they only make however much a year, right? But, like, they get the best benefits ever. Like, they've got government health care, a government pension. Like, it's not just about salary for them, because not only that, they have government friends. Like, they have motherfuckers that it's like, oh, you're in some trouble or your buddy's in trouble. Let me call my dude who works for the attorney general. You know what I mean? I grew up and vaped like a child. Fuck off. Never, dude. I fucking hate vapes. Vapes are the gayest fucking things ever. Cigarettes are amazing. And I need to quit, man. I have been smoking way less of them since I've been working all the time because I can't just sit at my house. But for the most part, oh my god, it's 12:30. I gotta get off here soon. I can't be up too late tonight. I've gotta work fucking 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. tomorrow and the next day. But yeah, like, there's a lot of benefits to being a Fed that aren't just money. Nobody gets into it for just the money because money isn't actually power. That's the biggest lie ever told, that money is power. Money is not power at all. There's plenty. I mean, talk to the oligarchs in Russia. That Putin is just like, your money, mine now. You know what I mean? Like, just simply having money is not power, dude. Friends is power. Having people that are powerful that that's power. Power is such an interesting thing. I know it gets a bad rap now, but like, I read the 48 Laws of Power and it had a really big impact on me. Because it is a useful book on how to spot like sociopaths and master manipulators and psychopaths and stuff like that. But just as a history book, it's a really, really good book. But a lot of people read it and are like, ooh, I'm going to use the 48 Laws of Power. And it's just like, I mean, that's cool, bro. But it's like, it's not going to get you. Power isn't a replacement for a relationship with Christ. Nothing is. And so you can get all the power you want, you can get all the money you want, you can get all the weapons you want. Doesn't matter, dude. It's not going to save your soul. And there's nothing really more important than that. And that's why it's like the people, the Epsteins, these evil people doing these evil things and their little fucking cults and rituals and child sacrifices and all this stuff. It's like, those people are the most deceived. Satan deceives. That's what he does. And the real lie is that power means anything. The real lie is that anything in this life means anything. Uh, any of these earthly things mean anything. Rich and famous people kill themselves all the time. Everybody is a God shaped. My brother told me this and it changed my fucking whole worldview, but it's the idea that everybody has a God shaped hole in their heart. And you can fill that shape with a lot of different things, but if it's not the shape of God, it's not going to fit right. And yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like the people that are the Illuminati, the people that we think we need to defeat, and all this stuff, they're already defeated, man. Because we were never going to defeat them. Christ defeated them. And actually, Christ didn't even defeat them. They defeated themselves. Oh, dude, I've been shooting content for the past month. Like this whole fucking shit show I've been going through, I've been shooting the entire time. I shot some stuff on the way to work today. I was genuinely too busy to shoot anything, but I have a second phone. I have an old, I believe this is a Samsung 10. Still has a beastie ass camera in it though. Samsung makes great fucking phones, or at least they used to. But I've been shooting, and I have a big video planned to be the sort of first video for my second channel, which is just going to be me yapping and kind of waxing poetic about life and just things I've learned and non-conspiracy related stuff. And just like movies I like, pop culture shit, just like, it's just going to be my talking only channel. And so that way I can really make the Timeline Junkie channel just my content only channel. But yeah, I've been shooting tons of stuff. I've been shooting a lot of stuff. I really miss having a camera in my hands. My best friend became my best friend because he was my chief collaborator, basically, in music and in visual stuff. But he was always a much more disciplined guy. He would read the instruction manual with stuff. He was very good on a technical level. He's a brilliant artist. One of the most naturally gifted and talented people I've ever met, but he has the fatal flaw of he doesn't like attention. He doesn't have that little narcissistic part of him as an artist. And I found out anyway, I can't talk about that. But he's fucking great at what he does, and we've shot a lot of stuff together, and I want to keep doing it. And he keeps me grounded in the real filming world. He loves the AI stuff I do, and he's not an AI hater, but he always encourages me to come back to it. Thank you, sir. I appreciate everybody that shares my stuff. I gotta walk down to my kitchen and get this fucking Milky Way that's sitting in there waiting on me patiently. But yeah, man, there's just a lot of shit happening, dude. There's just a lot of shit happening all at once. That's how my life's been for quite some time. Really this year, dude, it's just been like a constant wave after wave of just like... And I'm one of those people, dude, I'm pretty good under pressure. I'm pretty fucking good under pressure. And I'm pretty good at, I don't know. When like I'm really under pressure, I kind of hyper focus. And I think that comes from being a line cook. When I was when I first started out as a line cook, I worked at a shitty, like, the movie Waiting? It was like that. All the line cooks were like these old fucking salty, at the time, I'm like 19. These guys are like my age now. And they were fucking just like rough, scary fucking dudes. And like they would like come home like dude, just some of the wildest, most fucked up shit I've ever heard in my life came out of these dudes' mouths. When the checks would start rolling in, they would take a knife and they would hit the edge of the fucking plate shelf that was metal, and it would sound like a bell to like a boxing match. They would go round one, and they fucking, And it would scare the shit out of me, dude, because I knew we were about to get fucked the whole night. And when you hear those checks coming in, when you hear those checks printing out, you're just like, oh my God, I'm never going to get out of this restaurant tonight. Like, it's a Friday night. Other dudes are out there. They're getting their dick sucked. They're having fun. They're living free. And I'm stuck making ribs in this fucking restaurant. And I'm never going to get out of here. I'm stuck in some Euclidean hell where I can never escape. And I'll be cooking cheese sticks in a fryer forever. And after a few years of that, it just like, I would hear in my head this song from the menu of the video game Kane and Lynch 2, and it would make me so calm and peaceful. And I learned how to like it was literally from cooking in this restaurant, because there's this other restaurant I worked at where everything was made from scratch. And so like if somebody's ordering fucking Alfredo, I gotta make the Alfredo in the pan right then and there. There's no like big thing of Alfredo that I can just pour in there. No heat lamps. Everything has to fucking come out at the same time. And it was hard, dude. And then when it's all over, you have to clean the whole fucking kitchen down, which also sucks. And so that's where I learned how to zen out and sort of tunnel vision in and just focus simply on the thing in front of me. And I have been in situations in my life since then that easily could have shattered people's brains. And I'll do some story time things on my other channel about some of these. But I've been put in positions where the pressure would have cracked a lot of people. And I was able to remain calm under it because I can just sort of like tune the noise out sometimes and just like focus in. Oh, you're an ER nurse? Whoa. Yeah, see, I'm not even going to try and front like I'm on that level. I just simply don't enjoy people enough to ever do that job. But also I hate hospitals. I just hate them. They're my least favorite place to be in. I hate any kind of medical facility. I despise it. But I've just learned how to like every nurse I've ever known too, on top of being a massive slut, they have that quality to where like they just simply don't crack. Like they won't crack. Like they're just a rock of a fucking person. But they have to just fucking, they get 2 days off every 48 days or whatever, and they just go fucking hog wild, dude. If you ever just like really want to get some pussy super fast, go in the bar, find out who worked as a nurse or who is a nurse. If it's her day off, you will crack, dude. I promise. Sorry to any other nurses out there. I work 10 to 16 hour shifts. So I have no idea how nurses do 12 hours all the time. I don't either, dude. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's a different type of motherfucker. They're fucked up. They're fucked up people. That's how. And every nurse I've ever met was a super, super fucked up person. I had a stepmom who was a nurse. She was like a mix between like the show Nurse Jackie and Anna Nicole Smith. Like, it was like a perfect 50-50 mix of those two people. But she would like steal Dilaudid out of people's like IV drips and shit like that. And this is like after her and my dad had divorced, but she was wild, dude. Nurses are wild people. They're wild. And I think that they're very much like people in music or whatever, that they're attracted to extremes. They're sort of, through trauma or whatever, they're attracted to that sort of visceral, gritty side of life. Because I definitely have that thing in me too. And I've just sort of now come out of it, just being a father and stuff like that. I'm just not really attracted to that side of life anymore. But there are people that just crave the real stuff. I mean, I've known plenty of people that went into the military too, because they wanted to experience death, not in the sense that they wanted to kill people or that they wanted to die, but they wanted to be somewhere where those were the stakes. And it's just a certain type of motherfucker, bro. Like one of my best friends, she was a hospice nurse for close to 15 years. Had she told me one day, she counted it up, she had 48 people die in her arms, like in her literal arms, not even just the people she walked in and found dead. And you know, I could never wonder, I could never figure out why. I didn't know much about what her job was like. And I was like, dude, you keep popping out kids. She has like 5 fucking kids. And then she told me that. I was like, oh, that's why. Like, you want to be around life. You want to be around young, vibrant, joyous life. Because you're just around decaying old people that are lonely, that no one goes to see. She holds so many people's last words. She's been told things by people that their family asked them, and she couldn't even tell their family because it would have hurt them too bad. Or because she promised the dying person she wouldn't tell them. Wild. That's wild shit to carry on your soul. Yeah, bro, no, that's what I'm saying. There's honor in it. The people that are nurses, the people that do this shit, man, they don't come out of it whole. They have to leave a lot of themselves in that building. Anything you do takes a part of you. Coddle you when you had a bad day. Oh, exactly, dude. Like, oh, you want to hear what I did today? Well, my boss was kind of mean to me when I asked to go to lunch. Someone fucking died in my arms. Oh, she's a beautiful person, though. She's wonderful. But yeah, no matter what you do, man, it takes something from you. If you really do it, too, that's the other thing. My hearing is fucked. I have tinnitus. I will have tinnitus for the rest of my life. Every day, all day, my ears ring. And they probably ring loud enough to drive most people insane. However, I don't even notice it anymore. It's happened for so long. And that's the cost of doing what I did at the level I did it at. Anything you do that you really do in life, if you draw, eventually your fucking hands are gonna get fucked up. You know, my mom, she's an interior decorator and designer. She's retired now, but she sewed. You know, she sewed her whole life. And, you know, she looks very young for her age. She looks great for her age. She's taking good care of herself. However, her hands look like the hands of an 80-year-old woman. Because she's done intricate, fine little things with her hands forever and ever and ever. And whatever you choose to do in this life takes a part of you. If you choose to do drugs, if you choose to run all the time, you'll get fucked up knees. It doesn't matter what it is. Life is the process of the world slowly taking away parts of you. And that's why you have to work to be healthy. You have to work to find a balance between your family and work. You have to work to not die. You have to work to not let the world kill you. And that can be a very hard thing. And so, especially if you're a sort of go all in, dive in type person. And I kind of am sometimes. I never was. I used to be a half-ass person about stuff. And that's a story for a different day of how that got changed. But regardless, I have great admiration for nurses, as fucked up as they all are. The people that really got to stick their hands in the shit, in the blood, and the deal with everybody's gross little thing. Yeah, dude, I bet. That's what I'm saying. And don't be afraid to quit either, bro. Like, don't be afraid to quit. Go be a vet. You know what I mean? Go work on dogs or some shit for a while. That might be harder, I don't know. But, like, harder on your soul, I mean. Like, you know, at least you know that some people you've worked on are pieces of shit. But like, just seeing innocent, beautiful dogs die all the time, fuck that, dude. I'd fucking off myself. And that's why I admire people that can do that. The people that have that kind of sort of like emotional maturity and moral maturity, to be able to deal with those moments and have those conversations. I used to sell FMLA. Well, I didn't sell FMLA. I was like a caseworker. It was the only office job I ever had, but I basically handled people's FMLA cases. They were all West Coast people. And I remember one day I had to explain to this guy how he wasn't approved for FMLA because FMLA only applied to family members that were alive. And this dude's daughter had died. And he didn't get approved because his daughter had died. And because the law only applied to family members that were living. Now, there was something else that I'm sure he could have gotten, but the thing he needed time off for was under FMLA, and he filed it wrong, and because his daughter had died, it was ineligible. And I remember having that conversation with that guy, and I was just like, dude, fuck this job. Like, fuck this job. 1.5 billion for insurance claim. I don't know. There's people out there that got to do really tough shit, and they're far stronger than I am. And that's why I choose to tell stories about those people versus doing what they do. Because I'm a fucking softy, dude. I'm a soft bitch. I don't ever want to fucking deal with that. I don't ever... FMLA is a con, you're right. I don't ever want to walk in a house and see, you know, 3 kids that their mom strangled or some shit. I don't even want to do a wellness check on some like old hoarder and find that they fucking suffocated in their own farts or something. I don't want to do that, bro. I don't want to scrape bodies off the highway. I don't want to fucking put fires out. I don't want to do that. And it's not even that I couldn't do it. I'm not squeamish about like blood and gross shit like that. It's just that like I have a sensitive mind. I know I couldn't turn my brain off about it. I know I couldn't stop thinking about it. I know I couldn't stop dreaming about it. I know it would haunt me. You know, so many of my buddies and my family members that have been in the military, they saw some shit over there that I know changed them. I could see that it changed them. And they're so much stronger than me. And it's like, I don't know. I don't know what I would do, man. And so that's why I'm just like, yeah, I'll just write stories about it. That's why I just stay secluded in the world, in my own little world, and create worlds around it. That's my lot in life. It's a lot of what artists are. A lot of artists are people afraid to genuinely participate in the world. We have to kind of stand outside of it and observe and give a different perspective. Because the people that aren't afraid are genuinely too stupid to be afraid. And I don't mean that in the sense that they're like stupid, like unintelligent stupid, but their fear center in their brain is like underdeveloped and retarded. Their sort of self-preservation center is not very developed, and they can just sort of dive into it and just do the thing that needs to be done. And I think that's like kind of the definition of a hero. You know what I mean? Is somebody that's just like, boom. Yeah, they really do lack the ability to see how bad they are. But that's the beauty of it. That's why people make movies about them, dude. They're like, some of the most successful shows and movies ever are about doctors, EMTs, firefighters, and fucking cops. all of those people. I think firefighters are probably the least fucked up. When I meet a dude that's a firefighter, it's like, I bet you've seen some shit. I bet you've been in some scary stuff. If you're like a metro city firefighter, of course. But like, you know, I think firefighters are probably the most stable mentally of all of them. Even though their fear center thing is fucked. They're retards. They're fucking retards. Like, dude, you're climbing a 8-story ladder and jumping into a burning building to like get a cat out or some shit. Like, crazy. But those people are heroes. That's awesome. Yeah, they're all damaged. Of course they are. They're the most reserved, sadistic. Dude, I'll tell you what. I've only met 2 firefighters, right? And they seemed that way. They both seemed like this dude could if no one was watching, he would strangle me in an alley and just walk away like nothing happened. It's crazy. A lot of people are like that, man. I think everybody has a little bit of psychopath in them. I think society is just trying to condition so much of it out of us. But at the end of the day, we're all the ancestors of people that killed someone to survive. And that's in us. You know, you cannot escape your chlorophyll in the garage for what, bro? Yeah, dude, Backdraft is a banger. Me and my brother used to watch Backdraft all the time. And also Rescue Me. Rescue Me is a very underrated show. That you don't hear much about Dennis Leary anymore since he got caught for the joke stealing thing. But I gotta say, Rescue Me was just some great television, dude. Just some great television. Powerful FX back in the day. They had The Shield, Nip Tuck, Rescue Me. They were just hitting it out of the park. Sunny. You know, It's Always Sunny was a banger. I remember the night that It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia premiered, they were premiering another comedy show, and it was called Starved. And that show was about people who had eating disorders. And they would go to this special support group where basically the person would shame them for having an eating disorder. Like the one dude was like a cop, and he like literally like mugged some delivery driver and like beat the shit out of him just to eat the food he was delivering. Like, it was a fucked up, dark, and then like immediately used his baton to make himself throw up afterwards. Like, it was a dark, fucked up show. And I have no, you know, it's very obvious why It's Always Sunny won and that one didn't. And no one's ever heard of that show. But I remember FX doing that, and I was like, dude, like, this is on cable? Like, what a fucking risk. But I hate doctor shows. I hate hospital shows more than anything. I hate House, ER, Grey's Anatomy, all this shit. It's all fucking gay. It's all people making out in the broom closet, which I don't care if that's true or not. It's disgusting. It's disgusting, and those people should be ashamed of themselves. It's so gross. If you, my nurse, male nurse guy, I'm assuming you're a male nurse, if you have made out with somebody in your hospital, you're disgusting, and you should quit your job, and you should change careers. Once I learned about iatrogenic illness and how many people just simply get sick because they were in a hospital, it made me never want to fucking go to one again. Does not happen to me. Well, that's a damn shame, actually, because every time I go into a hospital, I'm just like, it's just blonde, like 8.5s. It's just like bitches that listen to Trace Adkins and get shit-faced on the weekends, but they're just like slamming. Like, they even look hot and cheeked up in scrubs. It's awesome. But they also seem like annoying at the same time. It is what it is. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think I'm gonna get off here though. You guys have been fun to talk to. Yeah, dude, you definitely don't get naked in the ER. What fucking reason would you have to get naked in, like, don't they, I assume they have some kind of like changing room or locker room, right? If like people gotta change into new scrubs or whatever, or do you guys just have to like find a place? I guess it depends on the kind of hospital you work at. Some of the hospitals I've seen look like federal buildings, like they're fucking massive. But yeah, ERs are full of germs. One, Fuck it, dude. We're already on the subject. I'll just tell this story now, and then I'll just make a video about it later. I'm gonna smoke one more cigarette as we did it. So, long time ago, I was. This is before I even really got into music like that. Every weekend, me and my friends, we would take 2CB. This is a pretty powerful hallucinogen. And we would also take Molly with it. Sometimes we'd take Roll as well. I would always drink 151 while taking the Molly and 2CB. It was just very decadent. A lot of drugs, a lot of nonsense. And one time, my buddy he was doing it with us, and he was always the one guy that could never really say no. He didn't have an off switch. He was always like trying to do more and more, and he snuck off and did some coke without telling anybody. And so I'm like mid-story, we're all having the time of our life, we're tripping, having fun, and all of a sudden this motherfucker has a seizure right in the middle of it. Now, we always kept my one super autistic buddy, and thank God for him that he was able to hang out with a bunch of people just giggling on hallucinogens. But we always kept him around because he was sober. And so if anything went wrong, anything weird happened, he knew what to do. And, you know, he did all the proper seizure stuff you're supposed to do, turn him on his side and all this other stuff. And we were very scared. And, like, I had taken the drugs maybe an hour before, so I was feeling them, but I was, like, by no means peaking. And basically, the EMTs that came in, and they were just like, well, does anybody know about his medical history at all? And I was like his best friend. So I was like, well, I do. Like, I know enough, at least. I know the most of anyone here. And they're like, okay, well, you got to come with us. And so I didn't have to ride in the ambulance, but I had to go to the emergency room with him. And I had to sit next to him in the bed. And, like, he had the seizure, but, like, basically he was just hyper dehydrated. And that's kind of what brought it on. And he ended up being fine. We were only there for maybe 5 hours or so, but I was there in an emergency room, sitting there on fucking Molly and acid, just like trying not to freak out. There's cops going up and down the halls, like my eyes look like fucking bowling balls. And the guy, because in the emergency room how it was just beds, and then there was just sheets in between. Oh, the nurses for sure knew, probably. But the fact is, I wasn't even like worried about them. I was just worried about the fact of like, oh, I'm going to be tripping. I'm going to be candy flipping in the worst possible place you could be candy flipping. And of course, in the next bed over, I couldn't see the guy either. There was a sheet in between. But this dude is making the worst retching. It's literally, I don't even know how else to say it. He was retching. Like the worst sounds you've ever heard. The worst sounds you've ever heard in your life from somebody. And he sounded like he was actually just like shitting or puking himself to death. And it was for hours. It was like going on for hours, dude. And I was like tripping while this was happening. And that's how I knew I could keep a head on my shoulder. Was because I went through that. And I was able to like sit there and not freak out and stuff. And me and him just like sat there quietly. Because he did, you know, he had a good job. He had a lot of shit on the line. He didn't want to fucking... And I could tell he was, you know, that's like that moment kind of shocked us all. And we were all like, oh, maybe you can't just like do infinite drugs and party. Because we were very much like work hard, play hard type people. We all had good jobs. We were all fucking killing it. We were young and we thought we were invincible. But that moment... when it was just like, whoa, and like the drugs are like really hitting you hard and they're like really coming up, and being in an emergency room and there's just people crying and screaming and it's just like a fucking nightmare. And like I still kept my head on through that. That was how I knew that, like, I don't know, I could handle some shit if I needed to. And you know, it's like it also kind of like, it certainly didn't deter me from, retching is the worst sound. No. I was quite literally in there for 4 hours. Like I could at least check the clock. I knew what that meant. And that's the problem. I was in there for 4 real hours, so it felt like it was 8, 9, 10 hours, and it was an experience that is seared into my fucking brain for sure, and I will never forget it. And that's also why I just don't do any of that stuff or have any interest in that stuff anymore, because it's not really a trip. It doesn't really go anywhere. But I don't know. That'll do it to you. That'll do it to you if you experience that. But yeah, that's also why I hate hospitals and ERs and stuff like that. It's because like I spent that experience in one, just sitting next to him in the bed, and I was just watching him, thinking about like what is he thinking about right now? Like he was tripping and he had a seizure. I'm just sitting next to him while he had a seizure, and it changed him forever. He was never the same after that, and he is no longer alive. And I don't know, man. Lore, a lot of lore with that one. But I just I've done so many drugs, and I pretty much came out unscathed. I never really had any super bad experiences that like directly fucked up my life or cost me a ton of money or put me in jail or anything like that. And after a while, I just realized, like, dude, I'm not going to be this lucky forever. And then now I've realized that I wasn't lucky, and it was just, my mom praying for me and my brothers, and, it was people praying for me. I don't believe in luck anymore. I believe in prayer. And I realized how many people I had that were talking to God on my behalf. And that's why I didn't go through a lot of this stuff that I should have went through probably. And I remember one time this was one of the last times I ever did drugs, but I thought I was getting coke and I got ketamine instead. And let me tell you, that is a shocker. I was like, I had shows like 5 nights previous, so I was like dog ass tired. I'd been drinking and fucking staying up with Adderall the whole week. And like I had still slept, but it was like shitty sleep. And I had this like really important meeting with these 3 people at this bar. And I remember I found this baggie on the floor of the venue I worked at. And I was like, oh shit, I found some coke. This is sweet. And so before this meeting, I was like, I'll do some bumps, to like get myself in the mood, get myself ready. And me and my buddy had a playlist, picked out. We were going to fucking jam out and shit. And like, we fucking each took a line, and we kept turning the music up louder and louder because we're like, it's just not like I'm not feeling it. Like, well, what is it? And then like after a while, I just realized like, this is not fucking cocaine, dude. This is something else. It was ketamine, and I'd never done ketamine before. I didn't like ketamine. I never wanted to do it, and so I freaked the fuck out. I had to be at that meeting in like an hour. And I was like, oh no. I was like, what have I done? I'm going to be fucking a mess. I'm going to be slurring my words. I ended up getting the meeting pushed back 1 hour. I had enough. Because like the drugs were they were starting to hit me hard. And I was like, okay, I got to text these guys now because I'm not going to be able to in like 20 minutes. I texted them. I got the meeting pushed back an hour. I called my buddy who did ketamine. I was like, dude, I thought I was doing coke. I did ketamine. Like, what do I do? How do I make this go away? And he was like, well, sugar counteracts it. So he's like, you gotta fucking get something sugary. And so I went and bought like a fucking giant lemonade from Penn Station, because they had this sugary ass lemonade there. And I fucking chugged this lemonade and shit. Sure enough, it wore off pretty fast. But I was still just fucking groggy and fucked the rest of the day. And then that happened one other time, probably 7 months later. And after that, I was like, dude, fuck this. Like, because I went into a legitimate K-hole. Like, in the middle of a show I was supposed to be running. And I was like, fuck this, dude. I'm a fucking retard. I'm going to die. I was like, I'm going to get fucking bad coke one day or whatever. And like, and the thing was, I didn't pay for the shit. That was the real issue. I never paid for drugs. I didn't spend a lot of money on drugs, so I never had to steal my grandma's TV or anything like that, And that's where
And it's not like I just fucking did drugs at home all night and all day either. I just had a job where, like, hey, end of night, good night. Let's do some fucking bumps. Let's hit the bag. And also, after you turn 25, you realize, like, everyone does coke. And so, like, this fucking one dude I work with, he's like 72 years old. And this motherfucker was like talking to me. He's like, dude, I'm fucking hyped, bro. I'm gonna get some fucking Bolivian marching powder tonight. Which I thought was hilarious. Um, Coke is kind of shitty for real. I don't love Coke. I really don't. I don't like putting things in my nose. I never really loved it, but it was if I couldn't find Adderall, that was like the closest thing. And I'm definitely like a speed guy. I never liked. That's why I've never tried like real meth, just because I knew I would get addicted to it. That's why I still got fat cheeks. But yeah, I don't know. I never got into like the opiates and the downers and stuff like that. I was never really ooh, GoldenEye quote for the win. Let's go. Um, yeah, sober with Jesus is cool. I can't really say I'm like 100% sober because I've definitely been smacking tequila periodically for the past month or so, and it's been treating me great. But I'm like, you know, fucking 95% sober basically. I stopped really smoking weed. I've hit it maybe a couple times, and it's just like not. It just doesn't do it anymore. It's just not. I don't know. It's just like some shit. It just loses its appeal, and I'm really glad because I never had to like go through treatment. I never had to like have this big sort of come to Jesus moment with drugs, and I think it's just because I came to Jesus for real. I was just like, yeah, this is stupid. I'm a father. Like, I don't. It's just like this isn't adding anything to my life, and so. But I'm grateful that I have done drugs and I know what drugs are. If I'm ever in a weird situation in a Hollywood party and you know there's coke and stuff around, like I know what to do. I know how like I'm not. And also I have no problem like saying no. Um, yeah, dude, tequila is great, and like that's what I'm saying. Like I don't drink anything else. Like the only thing I have interest in is just straight tequila, tequila, ice, two slices of lime that I can squeeze into it, and that's perfection. And I'll just sip on one little fucking, basically like a double shot. I'll get like a double shot with ice, and I'll sip on that the whole night, and I never get drunk. I don't enjoy being drunk either. I genuinely enjoy the feeling of just a wee little bit in me. It just sort of fucking, it makes me, yap. I like talking when I'm drinking. Cause like, dude, I've been on here for 2 hours. I drank one of these. Like I went to the gas station and bought one of these. This is what, 12.5% alcohol? Okay, that's actually like a lot of alcohol. But regardless, I don't want to get more. I don't want to go drink six of them. I'd be fucking miserable if I did that. Like being drunk is such a fucking chore, dude. It's so draining. And I don't know. I'd just rather fucking have a little bitty buzz, I guess. But I really do got to get the fuck off here, though. But it was fun talking to you guys. And as soon as I get my other computers up here, I'm gonna. I've got this client job I got to finish up, and I'm working so many fucking hours these next couple weeks. But my hope is that within the next month or so, I will be able to drop one of my jobs because one of my jobs. At first, I got two part-time jobs, and that was cool. But then they're both slowly turning into full-time jobs, and I'm gonna have to kind of. I'm gonna have to kind of pick one, and I'm gonna pick the one with like dental insurance and the one that gives me my nights back. Because if I could have my nights back, number one, I get to see my son more. Because like I've just been working so much, like this is the most I've been away from my son, and it sucks. I'm not like not allowed to see my son or like on like bad terms or anything like that. It's just like I literally have just worked all the fucking time, and so this is the most I haven't seen him because I worked from home his pretty much his whole life. And so I'm really excited to just go down to one job and have more of a set schedule and get my nights back and be able to make shit again, and hang out with him more, and fucking do the damn thing. But I really want to start this other YouTube channel so I can do all this crazy shit over there, because I really got to start like managing what I say better at under the Timeline Junkie banner, and I really want to get all the me talking stuff and like telling my fucking drug stories away from that name, because things are starting to pick up and on the professional side of things, and if people, I know people are going to be looking into me for one way or another, either to fucking try and ruin my career or try to advance it. And if they see me talking out of pocket about a lot of crazy shit, it's just not going to help. So that's why I'm excited to do the new channel, so I could still kind of be personable and vulnerable and talk about all the shit that I talk about, but not risk everything while doing it. So I appreciate you guys. It was fun talking to you guys. I'm so fucking tired. I'm going to bed. I gotta work. And stay tuned. There will be another kind of Lucky Larry video coming out, and a very, very big announcement about things. Have a wonderful night. I love you. I'm proud of you. Bye-bye.